Hey everyone, welcome back to Epicenter Garage. Today the plan is, well, I was going to tell you guys, I actually got in hard tags. You guys might remember the last episode where we were going around, I think I took you on a few of them, going around putting paper tags on all the various cars, especially the ones that are antique cars now. Well, the state of Kansas, man, they came through. Within like, what was it, 4 days? All the hard tags arrived. So I think I've got, oh my gosh, I probably have a dozen or 13 or 14 of the antique hard tags. So I don't know. States never are usually that fast, but I got to hand it to the state of Kansas. They were really quick. But now I'm not going to bore you with taking you around and putting all these hard tags on. I'm going to do that later on. But so what I am going to do is I'm going to take you over to my workbench and show you what I'm working on right now. So let's go. All right, so we have a lot of stuff on my project table here, but the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is you may remember in the last episode, we pulled off the PMO carbs. These are 50 PMOs off the Porsche 917. So I'm in the process of breaking these things down. You can see here I've got the floats, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's a left side and a right side. And so, but one of the big problems that I'm always tuning on PMOs and carburetors in general. So one of the big problems that a lot of times, especially in a race car, in the 911 particularly, you're always bending down, you're tuning on them, things like that, doing all the adjustments. Well, the problem is that when you start to rotate these things out, sometimes you can't remember, did I go one rotation out? Are these set at 3/4 rotation out? Because all of these normally get set a little bit differently. You might not rotate this one out a 1 turn, this one out 1 turn, this one out 1 turn. This one might be 3/4 of a turn or 7/8 of a turn. This one might be a 1.5 turn. So, and it's really hard to remember. And a lot of times what I do is I take a paint marker and mark on the tops. Once you screw them all the way in, you go and you put a paint marker on the top, boom. But still, you try to get your head down in a 911 to see where you're at and which one. It's a royal pain. So what I did, I was like, these things need to have knobs on them with an indicator. So what I did is I designed these, drew these up in CAD. They actually have little serrations. I don't know if you can see that, but they have little tiny serrations in them that fit the exact size of these. So these actually have 29 teeth on them. And so what these do is once you screw these adjustments in, slip this right over, squeeze it on, and bam, check that out. So now that is all the way top dead center, close to it. I could have moved over one too. So now I can literally reach inside the car. I can say, you know what? I can do it without even looking. I can be like, oh, well, that's 1 turn. That's a 1/2 turn. That's 3/4 of a turn. It's 1 turn. So much easier to adjust the carbs. So boom, boom, boom. And so I made, boy, probably 2 dozen of these things. So I'm going to start putting them on all my cars. So why I didn't think of that earlier, I don't know. It's one of those, I don't know, ideas that just kind of hit me and came up with it. So I cannot wait to start. I'll probably put these on all my cars, and I will seriously go around and probably readjust all the carburetors. And sometimes you have to do that anyway, the humidity and the time of year, things like that. But PMO carburetors don't need to be touched too often, but when they do, I'm going to have these little knobs on them that will make it a lot easier. I am excited. I got every new seal, every gasket, everything for these. So that is something that's going to be a kind of, I don't want to say I don't even know how long it's going to take me. I've done it once before and it's been so long, so I don't know. It's going to take me a couple hours, maybe, well, heck, it's going to probably take me a full day to break these carburetors down. So, but I was thinking the other day, and I told you before that I was going to make adapters for these wheel fans to fit on a cool project car that I've actually got in the other garage that I can't wait to show you guys, but I'm waiting on a few parts to come in that are on back order, but they're on their way. They're on their way. So what I did is I designed up some adapters, and what these do is these are going to allow us to bolt these on some BBS rims that I have on this project car. So basically what these do, I'm really excited to try these out. I did kind of a test fit. So this plate is going to go inside, because you can see here, this is an original old wheel fan, and what happens was, depending on the race car, you can see here, they drill in holes really fast, kind of oval holes, and man, there's what, 8 holes in this darn thing, maybe more than that, I didn't really count it, but you can see which ones that were kind of drilled previous, and you can see which ones were actually the OEM holes. So what I did is I took measurements, used my calipers, got into CAD, and measured these, and so I had to have a plate, because So that plate drops in. So what we're going to do is we're going to sandwich this right here. And so now we have that plate. Then we're going to put on this backing plate like that. Ooh, it's going together nice. Man, things usually don't go together that well for me. So it usually takes multiple tries. So, and I made these little spacers because I think it's going to be about 8 millimeters. I need about 8 mil of spacing. So this plastic is 4 millimeters thick. So I'm going to go 2 spacers on each one of these. Slip those on there. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay, now you can see here, you can barely see the script, the Porsche BBS script. So anyway, I got all that off to put on these right here. Check these out. So I had these stickers made. So these are going to go on, but they're a little on the big side, but check this out. All right, so here we are with the wheel and tire. This is what, I actually pulled this off the project car, so hopefully it doesn't give too much away, but I will say that no, it is not a Porsche, it's not a 911 turbo or a 930 turbo. That's all I'm going to say. So here we go. Basically, the way I've designed this, I made this right here. This is cut out to fit exactly the same diameter as this. So this edge right here fits down in this groove right here to keep everything aligned, properly aligned. So, oh man. And this should go in there. Oh man. Yes, look at that. Oh, and then when we put the gold mesh on here, it is going to look absolutely proper. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Now, the only thing is, and luckily I almost didn't, but I thought of this ahead of time, it's trying to grab this nut and tighten that nut. I knew it was going to be kind of a pain in the rear. So what I did is I decided to make my own little tool. So at the same time I was doing this, you know what, we're going to see if this, oh yeah. Oh man, I am really lucking out here that parts are literally fitting. So let me grab my screws here. So we're going to put this together real fast. When I was designing this, so basically what I did is I put my calipers on this part right here and measured this in order to get this hex in there. And then drew it up in CAD. And there's all kinds of different CAD software you can use, especially those of you out there that love to 3D print, which I do too. I'm not very good at it. Luckily, I've got some employees that are, I mean, they are just super talented in designing three-dimensional items and working with 3D printers. And just in general, I am truly blessed with the best employees and the smartest employees. So I can come up with an idea, explain it to them, and I'm not kidding you, within like 5 minutes, they'll send me a drawing of that part in 3 dimension, and I'll have a 3D printed part in my hand within like an hour. It's, oh my gosh, it's so much better than me actually doing it. All I have to do is come up with ideas, and granted, they come up with better ideas than I do all the time. So let's see here. Oh, look at that. Now, see, look at that. See, now I can really crank on it and make sure that thing gets in there tight. Right there. I so badly want to tell you guys about this car, but I just can't. That's going to be in a future episode. Hopefully I'm not building it up to where eventually you guys see the car and you're like, really, all that for this? Anyway, that's awesome. I'm glad that works out this way. Let me try taking it off here. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I can get so much more pressure or torque on it. So boom, take them off, right back on. Oh, that's going to be great. So what we got to do is I'm going to wheel this wheel fan over there so we actually get going on this car, the 2015 Alfa Romeo 4C. There's a quick project I need to do on that to make it a lot more comfortable to drive. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I picked this car up, how far I drove it home with my son, which is an absolutely epic trip. But anyway, so let me get this over here and we'll get started on this. All right, so here we are in my 2015 Alfa Romeo 4C. Now, I bought this car a little while ago, not maybe 30 days ago, 40 days ago, something like that. I bought this car down in Daytona Beach, Florida. I found it online. I think it was Auto Trader, I believe. And so bought this car just from the pictures. I rarely buy a car without going and seeing it first. But since it's such a new car, had 7,000 miles on it, I thought, you know what, I'll roll the dice per se. And so it was a 2-owner car, flew down to Daytona Beach. And the fun part about it is that it just happened to coincide with my son's spring break, which I was like, okay, here we go, father-son road trip. So we flew down to Daytona Beach with the intent to drive this thing all the way back. And I MapQuested it was going to be maybe like 1,800 miles from Daytona Beach back to Kansas. And it ended up being like 2,300 miles because we ended up doing a lot of different things. But in driving this car back, there's nothing better, honestly, than flying in, buying a car that you've never driven before, immediately jumping in and driving it at 2,300 miles. You learn very quickly what you love about the car, what you don't love about the car. It's kind of like a quick crash course into, well, whether or not you love the car or not, I guess you'd say. So, but I love this car. But the only part that I didn't like were the seats. And the only reason why I didn't like the seats is because the angle of the seat. As you can see here, the seats are, this is at its lowest or flattest position. They're too flat for me. I kind of like a little bit of rake in the front. These seats remind me a lot of a Porsche 914. If any of you out there have ever been in or seen or driven a 914, the seats are basically like, just go flat. Your legs literally are parallel with the ground when you're driving those cars versus having your knees go up and then bend down. And these seats reminded me of a 914 a lot. But the cool thing is that they're fully adjustable. Now, granted, I didn't take any tools with me down to Florida, so I wasn't able to pull these seats out because you just can't adjust them on the fly. You have to pull the entire seat out. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to try the driver's seat first. And so on the side here, it actually has 3 little adjustments on the front and the back. And what I'm hoping I can tell, the front hole is an oval. So I'm thinking I can just take this part right here and crank it up to be able to have more support on the bottom of my legs. And I just think it's going to be a lot more comfortable to drive. So one of the things that makes this car really neat is that it has a complete carbon fiber tub, which is unheard of in a car at this price point. I think this car stickered at probably in the $60,000 range. I bought it for considerably less than that. Short of a racing seat, that is the lightest seat I've ever pulled out of a car. What I want to do here, you can see it's very much like a racing seat. You guys have put in various seats or modified your cars or put different seats in. This all looks very familiar. So it looks like I've got adjustments in the back here, and I want to see if that adjustment there is, okay. So what I'm trying to do is I want to take this front end and lift it up. So I'm hoping that if I undo these right here, that I can just lift this up, but I want to keep the butt down low. We're going to try here. All right, so we got both of these off to the side. Now, granted, I don't think that's going to lift up, so we're going to need to undo this one. It'll be interesting to see if it will hinge on that back one back there. So we'll see here. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's gonna do it. And it's not gonna take much either. I mean, seriously, going from that, it was at its lowest setting. So I'm gonna go from that right there to that. So basically what I can do now, that one's in the middle, this one's right here. I can flex that down just a bit. I am going to so enjoy driving this car more, just because I felt like I was up on that steering wheel, and now another car that makes you feel that way too is like a 2010, 2011 GT3 RS with the carbon fiber seats. So even the later GT3s and GT3 RSs, you could get the carbon fiber seats in their solid back. And it's the same thing with those. Man, it puts you just up on that wheel. And my GT3 RS, my 2010, does the same thing. And there's adjustments out there you can buy them, the little adapters that go on that kick the seat back, cranks it back a little bit. I think they're like $150, but we're gonna make our move. Oh my gosh. That is gonna be, oh my goodness. Let's get this thing in there. Oh, you can already tell the difference. Look at that. That front end of the butt is still low, but the front is up.
That is money. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so much better. My gosh. That is like amazing. So if any of you out there have 4Cs and are kind of tall, like 6 foot or over, 6'2", 6'3", any taller than that, you're probably not going to have any luck no matter what you do. But you need to try this. What I'm really surprised at, the gentleman I bought this car from, he was an ex-fighter pilot, and he was pretty tall. He was probably 6'1", 6'2", and yeah, I don't know if we didn't talk about seat comfort at all, obviously, but when I went to pick it up, I mean, maybe he didn't have any problem. But last thing, you guys remember last time we were upstairs and I was tearing apart a Porsche calendar that I got at a Porsche club event, and I got those posters done. So we're gonna run upstairs and take a look at those, and I wanna see what you guys think. So let's head on upstairs. All right, like I said, they are finally done. I did these the other day, and so all 12 of them are in very inexpensive poster frames, but that's okay. Once they're up on the wall, it doesn't matter. So just Lexan covers, but oh, these are gonna look awesome. Now I still need to decide whether or not I'm going to put them like all in an order or just randomly throughout the building. So at least they're done, and we'll get these up on the wall here very soon. So maybe in one of the next episodes, we'll put 1, 2, or I don't know, maybe we'll put them all up. One other project, we gotta head back downstairs. I need to give you an update on the display case, so because I need to pick out a color. And I thought I'd have one picked out by now, but I'm like, I don't know. I got black paint, and then I'm like, because the black, you know, I have display cases up here and they're black, but I kind of want to make that a little bit different. So I've got orange, green, blue, all different colors. So, but anyway, let's go back downstairs and I'll give you the update on that. All right, so here we are, the display case. If you saw the last episode, I bought this for $30, and now we got to put a fresh coat of paint because it was bad. When I was cleaning out, up in the top right here, there were a couple of hornets' nests. Luckily, there weren't any hornets left in it. So, but it had some broken glass, or one back piece was broken. It didn't have as many shelves as I need. So, but it's all taped off. And so I didn't want to take out this glass because it actually has wood glued in to hold this glass. But all the other glass is out. It's taped up, ready to go, cleaned up. Now I just got to decide on the color, and I don't know. I've already started the process of making really cool. I'm actually on CAD. I've already done it in CAD. Some really cool letters that will go up here, say Ferrari and Porsche and stuff. And so those will be screwed in up here. I think it'll look kind of industrial looking. So I can't decide on like gray or black or blue or white. I don't know. So you guys will find out next. If you've got a favorite color, let me know in the comments below. But more than likely, it will already be done by the next video. So, because I got to get this thing knocked out. So, because I got cars waiting for this thing. So, anyway, thanks again for watching. If you want more, see some more videos, please subscribe. And that's about it for today.